Now on Coast TV News.
Delaware healthcare warning.
And the worry and the stress it puts on them.
Costs up, coverage down. What happens if Congress doesn't act?
Bollards backlash.
You need to at least talk to people and find out what the businesses think.
New security measures approved in Rehoboth Beach, but businesses are not happy about it.
Wicked winds for the Ghosts and Goblins this evening, and then a beautiful first weekend of November on the way. Details coming up.
This is Coast TV News at 6.
Healthcare costs, the central issue in the federal government shutdown fight. Good evening. I'm Christina T. Robertus.
And I'm Charlie Sakaitis. Welcome to our news at 6. Our top story tonight is the health insurance subsidies that could end unless Congress acts. Millions of Americans who rely on the Affordable Care Act could pay a lot more if enhanced premium subsidies expire at the end of this year. Let's take a look at some examples according to KFF estimates. A single person making $22,000 a year will pay $66 more each month for a typical plan. Around 40% of enrollees who earn between $24,000 and $63,000 will see a rise in bills of $132. And then there's this. Some of it depends on age. If you make $65,000 and you're 27 years old, your bill is going to go up $80. But if you're 60, your bill would go up a staggering $920.
And in Delaware, there are about 50,000 people enrolled in the Affordable Care Act. Coast TV reporter Emma Aiken is in our newsroom. Emma, the Delaware Healthcare Association says this could hurt everyone.
Christina, the Delaware Healthcare Association says if these subsidies expire, healthcare will cost more and hospital wait times will be longer for everyone. The association says the ripple effects will be huge and the move could put a strain on the entire Delaware healthcare system. Carolyn Green says she's scared for her family members who use Obamacare.
That they won't be able to pay their bills completely. And the worry and the stress it puts on them.
Christina Bryan with the Delaware Healthcare Association says thousands of Delawareans could be paying more for health insurance and health care.
This will put a strain on our hospitals. We'll see even longer emergency department wait times. We'll see a strain on our healthcare workforce because they're going to see higher volumes of patients that have more complex needs and worse conditions.
And Brian says a lot of people could be out of health insurance altogether.
If your health insurance costs are going up, that is a big concern that some may choose just to avoid it altogether. And we're just very concerned with the impact that will have on Delawareans' health. If you don't have health coverage, you're probably not going to see your doctor. You're not going to go and get your diabetes managed or go get a mammogram or whatever type of preventative care that you may need.
Again, these subsidies will expire at the end of 2025 unless Congress comes to a compromise. And this all comes after prices for next year's Obamacare health insurance plans became public this week. Christina.
Emma, thank you. And the change you can see depends on where people live, how old they are, and what they earn. Extending the subsidies would cost the federal government around $23 billion next year. That's according to the Congressional Budget Office.
Which brings us all to the Coast TV poll. We want to know, what's your biggest healthcare worry about these increasing costs?
Let's take a look at the updated results now. 86%, still most people saying expensive monthly premiums. 3% say surprise bills, 7% say prescription drug prices, and 4% say emergency care.
You can go vote in this poll. You can do it right now at coasttv.com or use our mobile app, and we'll show you updated results tonight on Coast TV News at 11. You may remember we reported Rehoboth Beach approved these bollards and swing gate, but the business owners on the avenue have started a petition against the project. Coast TV News reporter Brandon Ferguson is live in Rehoboth Beach. Brandon, the first owner to start the petition is right next to the project.
Charlie, the owner of Go Fish, this restaurant right here at the end of Rehoboth Avenue, gathered 16 signatures from other business managers here on the avenue and owners. They claim the city never asked them or consulted them before going ahead and approving this project. Allison Blythe, the owner, kicked all of this off during the October 17th Rehoboth Beach meeting, and at that meeting the project was ultimately approved. Blythe claimed that the bollards will be a safety problem, not a safety solution, with people possibly tripping over them and creating a barrier to businesses. In approving the project, the city says it's for safety. One business owner on Rehoboth Avenue says the city should talk to avenue owners.
I think it's just common sense. If you're going to do something that's going to affect the businesses, you should, I mean, you probably made your decision up, but you need to at least talk to people and find out what the businesses think.
Blythe says Rehoboth Beach Mayor Stan Mills told her and other Rehoboth Avenue owners to go to the December workshop meeting to further discuss the relationship between Avenue owners and the city. Live in Rehoboth Beach, Brandon Ferguson, Coast TV News.
All right, thank you, Brandon. And now we're going to take a live look into Rehoboth Beach, a nice little blue and pink sunset over the ocean there. Our first alert meteorologist Bob Trihey joins us now with a check on the forecast. Good evening, Bob.
Relentless on this Halloween, and trick-or-treaters this evening are going to have to really hang on to the candy and their costumes as well. Winds still gusting in excess of 30 miles per hour, 31 miles per hour in Georgetown, 24 Indian River Inlet, 24 in Redden, but not nearly as strong as earlier where we had gusts, well, in excess of 40, 45 miles per hour. So make sure if you have those big inflatable Halloween decorations that they are fastened down through the evening hours, and just make sure the kids aren't getting buffeted around by the wind too much, as a wind advisory continues until midnight for all of Sussex County from the coast inland areas where those winds will gust 40, 45 miles per hour. Temperatures not too bad, upper 50s and low 60s, 60 in Georgetown, lowest 61, Bethany Beach 60, as is Dagsboro. As we're looking at dry conditions, that's a good thing. It's just chilly and breezy as we have low pressure to the north, high pressure to the south, and right in between, that's where we have that pressure gradient, and that's what's causing all those very strong winds. And we'll see temperatures falling through the 50s this evening, feeling colder with the breeze. And by 8:30, we're into the mid 50s, lower 50s by 10:30, and shortly after midnight, looking at temperatures into the low 50s, but still on the breezy side. So for the trick-or-treaters this evening, aside from the wind, it's looking pretty good. 56 at 7, 55 at 8, and then by 9 down to 52. And then for the weekend, looking pretty good. Winds calm down. The first weekend of November looking good. Much more on that coming up a little bit later on.
All right, Bob, thank you. Well, Maryland Senator Chris Van Hollen and other state leaders joined labor and environmental groups in Baltimore today, rallying to protect the state's offshore wind projects. The push comes as federal approvals for U.S. Wind's plan for 114 turbines off Ocean City's coast face possible rollback by the Trump administration. Supporters say the projects could power more than 600,000 homes, create thousands of union jobs, and deliver hundreds of millions in local investment.
We are here to say yes to reducing costs to consumers, yes to good paying jobs, and yes to doing it in a way that protects our environment and the health of Marylanders and the American people.
But not everyone is on board with this. Critics in Ocean City and Worcester County say the turbines could hurt tourism and fishing, even raise power bills. They argue the projects were pushed through too quickly and that the risks to local jobs and marine life outweigh the rewards.
The area on your screen right now, US 113 southbound at Avenue of Honor, will have nighttime lane closures starting November 9th. So put that in your calendar. That's according to DelDOT. The agency says that the project will extend the existing turn lane, and it's expected to take about 2 weeks to complete. That, of course, weather permitting.
Delaware State Police have arrested 2 people after a probation and parole search in Millsboro. At around 3:45 p.m., DSP says the Sussex County Task Force was requested by probation and parole to search the home of 34-year-old Amanda Seward. Department officials say they searched Seward and 40-year-old Brian Truitt, who was one with Seaward and found 23.7 grams of methamphetamines, hydrocodone, and acetaminophen pills, also fentanyl test strips and other paraphernalia. Both of them were charged and arrested.
Today marks the last day of paid parking in Ocean City and the end of the first season where fewer kiosks were around town. We spoke with the transportation manager on Ocean City on how the season went, and he says that the transition this year went smoothly, citing only a handful of complaints. He adds that the town plans to remove the last kiosk at the inlet before next summer season, meaning that next year paying through the phone will be the only option.
A road closure in Millville is happening Monday. DelDOT says Railway Road between Old Mill Road and Pine Street will close for the installation of a crossroad pipe. That's the area you see here on your screen. DelDOT says work is expected to last until Wednesday, November 5th. And we are just getting started. There's more news ahead. Coming up, sports. Even on Halloween, there's still some Friday night football.
Yeah, the DSN crew breaking down the players to watch in this evening's game of the night.
We're saying rest in peace to the summer warmth and also those 8 p.m. sunsets as well. I'll have another look at the trick-or-treat forecast and your weekend forecast. Looking good for the first weekend of November. That's coming up a little bit later in the newscast.
But first, we have some cool things to do this first weekend of November. Halloween fun, plus ways to prepare for the season of giving when we're back in just 60 seconds.
This is Coast TV News at 6.
Happy Halloween, Delmarva. Clocks turn back Sunday morning, which means you get an extra hour of weekend to enjoy. Coast TV's Christina DeRobertis has your plans covered with this week's cool things to do.
There are some spooky adventures to enjoy this weekend, plus you can get ahead on some holiday shopping. In Lewis, you can join a haunted history tour on Saturday and explore the eerie tales of the historic Burton Ingram House, discover what lingering spirits may remain there. You are encouraged to bring a flashlight. It is the perfect time of year to head to the Pumpkin Patch, and if you head to Grassroots Rescue's Pumpkin Patch Adoption Bash in Lewis, you can leave with a new furry friend on Saturday. The Rehoboth Art League's 41st annual Holiday Fair Fine Craft Show is happening all weekend. Jewelry, glasswork, ceramics, and more will all be on display. Why not get your holiday shopping done early this year? And you can also do that at the Tanger Outlets. Their holiday shopping kickoff is on Saturday. More than 60 of the area's finest artists, crafters, and local boutiques will be set up at the Seaside Outlets from 11 to 4. And you can head to CoastTV.com for a full breakdown of event tickets, details, and more. And coming up next, Bob Trihey is in our Coast TV First Alert Weather Center with your forecast for the ghosts, goblins, plus a nice weekend forecast, all coming up after this.
We saw those wicked winds all this Halloween. At least we saw the sunshine. And those winds gradually dying down this evening. 59 in Lewis right now in the Irish Ice Cam. A beautiful evening as temperatures will continue to fall through the 50s and the winds will slowly calm down. But I tell you what, for the kids, those costumes, they're going to be blowing around and they're going to make sure they have an undergarment, definitely a heavier jacket under the costumes. As we're saying goodbye to summer warmth and those 8 p.m. sunsets, and the days are getting shorter and colder, and all that candy is going to go away pretty quickly this evening with wicked winds, a bone-chilling breeze as temperatures fall through the mid-50s, and then they stay steady, I think, through the evening hours, and then later this evening, I think, falling into the low 50s, but feeling a lot colder with those winds. So the storyline this evening looking spooktacular. Make sure you hang on to the candy and make sure those outdoor Halloween decorations are fastened down. The bigger they are, the more they're going to catch that wind. We're going to still see winds, I think, over 40 miles per hour. I think the 50 mile per hour winds are pretty much done. Earlier we had gusts to 45. And then for the weekend, hello November and hello sunshine, not as windy. And the clocks go back as we go into standard time as daylight saving time ends. More on that coming up, but a wind advisory continues until midnight for all of Sussex County, from Fenwick Island to Lewis, back to Seaford and Greenwood. Those winds still very gusty this evening, and they're still gusting over 30 miles per hour in Georgetown. 20 25 Indian River Inlet, 22 in Salisbury. So they're slowly beginning to relax, and temperatures in the 50s and low 60s right now. 60 Georgetown, Millsboro, you're at 59, 60 Bethany Beach, 59 in Rehoboth right now, as we're looking at lots of clear skies. So that's good. And the reason for the wind is we have strong low pressure now across New England with rain and snow up there. And then we've got high pressure building in from the south and west. So right in between, we've got that pressure gradient. The wind is squeezed between those systems. That's why it's so windy. It's still breezy this evening as temperatures fall through the 50s under clear skies. By 11:30 on Futurecast, we're seeing low 50s. Then I think by tomorrow morning, we're going to be looking at temperatures in the 40s and low 50s. And then another breezy day Saturday, not as windy as today. And by afternoon, upper 50s and low 60s with some clouds. As we go into Saturday night, maybe a few clouds. And by Sunday morning, I think lighter winds. And if we have clearer skies, some inland areas in the upper 30s, I believe, maybe a little frosty there. Otherwise, we'll see temperatures into the 40s and then 50s. And then Sunday, looking a lot like Saturdays, we're seeing gusty westerly winds, and they'll start to calm down a little bit into your Saturday in the afternoon, gusting close to 20 miles per hour as high pressure is getting closer. Highs in the 60s, lows in the 30s and 40s, maybe some frost possible Sunday morning. And then we could get nicked by a little system on Monday. Not a big one, but definitely a chance of showers at that time. As daylight saving time ends Sunday morning, clocks go back 1 hour, tests the smoke alarms, the CO detectors as well. We get an extra hour of sleep, and the sun sets around 5 p.m. Here's your Paul Davis 7-day forecast. We're looking at temperatures in the mid-60s by Sunday, and then the shower chance Monday, 62, and then temperatures in the 60s basically the rest of the week except for Friday in the 50s, but staying dry and chilly.
Coming up on Sunday Night Football this week, tune in as the Commanders take on the Seahawks, then stay right here after the game for Coast TV News.
The Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
Howdy, y'all. Happy Halloween. The only thing spooky on the peninsula today is there's just not enough football games. But right now, you can head over to DSN to catch our game of the night for one of the few happening on the holiday. North Carolina is heading over to Federalsburg to take on the red-hot Colonel Richardson Colonels, who haven't lost a game since September. Jazir Dickerson has been putting together an all-state caliber season with 21 touchdowns on the year, and he's still got at least a couple more games to add to that total. The Colonels' defense has been just as good during that stretch. Over the last 3 games, the Colonels are giving up just under a touchdown per game. Colonel Richardson head coach James Jackson says he still remembers the days where his team used to be who other teams would try to play on their senior night or homecoming, and now nobody wants to play them at all. On the other side, it's been a work in progress this season for North Carolina. They come into this contest at 1-7, but that one win was in its last game against James M. Bennett. So perhaps a bit of momentum for the Bulldogs, who would surely love to make things a little spooky for the Colonels. Go ahead and catch Ian Nicholas and Brian Dyke over on DSN right now. That'll do it for sports. Have a great night.
Make sure the kiddos are wearing something heavier under their costumes this evening as they go trick-or-treating, as it's pretty breezy out there. 7 o'clock, 56, mid-50s, still windy at 8, and then I think not as windy by 9, 53. Congratulations to our umbrella giveaway winner today. It's Dave Gannon from Millville, and he has a new umbrella, courtesy of Paul Davis and Coast TV. Here's your Paul Davis 10-day forecast. 62 Saturday, maybe a little bit of frost Sunday morning. Clocks go back 1 hour Sunday morning, so sunset Sunday evening around 5. We're around 64 on Sunday. A little system brings us some rain on Monday. Otherwise dry really the rest of the week with highs in the 60s, even colder by the end of the week. But everybody's going to have to hang on this evening. Costumes and all those Halloween decorations as well.
That's right. You just got to make sure they don't go flying down the street.
You don't want that.
A kid in a big blow-up costume tumbling like a tumbleweed.
Yeah, you don't want tumbleweed.
Be careful out there, guys.
Thank you, Bob, and thanks for joining us for Coast TV News at 6.
For more news, more local weather, download our Coast TV News app.
The NBC Nightly News is next.
And we'll see you later tonight for Coast TV News at 11. Have a great evening.